Today is Sunday, October the 30th, 2016, here in Charleston, Missouri. Less than 48 hours from now, well, let's say tomorrow, there'll be those that would be celebrating what they call Halloween, October the 31st, 2016. Me and my family, my household, we don't celebrate it. I teach my daughters about every holiday that individuals celebrate in the United States. It's not one that I celebrate. And I don't look down on anybody that celebrates it. But after Halloween, and all the masses and things is taken off, that very next day, Tuesday, November the 1st, is a day that a lot of people is looking forward to in the United States, in other countries too. Because on the Republican side, even though all Republicans is not with Donald Trump, but Donald Trump is running for president of the United States. And there's a lot of people don't agree with Donald Trump at all. Then on the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton is running for the president of the United States. And there's those that don't really agree with everything that Hillary Clinton stands for. But no matter who come in office, people of color have to come together as one, because there's something happening to us as a whole. When I say us, I'm not speaking out of the sellout blacks, because the sellout blacks is getting along. Matter of fact, they sit down and eat here in Charleston, Missouri. They sit down and eat openly with the Ku Klux Klan down here in Charleston, Missouri. Matter of fact, the Klan and the black leaders, preachers and all, not all the preachers, they work hand in hand to do all they can to keep me locked up for speaking up like Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, speaking up for what's right. Once upon a time, I was speaking up for Charleston, Missouri. I was considered Charleston, Missouri activist. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I ask you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Raymond, R-A-Y-M-O-N-D, Ivy, I-V-Y. But after the election is over with, it's going to be back to normal. But in Charleston, Missouri, I want y'all to pay close attention, because when you speak of election, you have Suzanne Wesley Family Learning Center here in Charleston, Missouri, who dominates just about everything in this town. They get government funds, they get other funds donated to them, and they dominate this city. But let me tell you what they think of the black community. When I say what they think of the black community, I'm going to give you some factual information, and you judge for yourself. If you have a legitimate organization that's for all people, the Justice Department is giving you funds, the chief of police who's corrupted here in Charleston, Missouri, giving you funds, and other people giving you funds, why would you keep on an individual in your organization that you hired in 1997, and you know for a fact, without a doubt or contradiction, if you don't look up, Google up Charleston, Missouri, 1998 voter fraud in the Wall Street Journal, you will see one of the individuals that they letting work for them, Suzanne Wesley Family Learning Center. Let me tell you, it's ran by white people. And I'm not saying all white people is racist or oppressors, but I guarantee you the people that's running the Suzanne Wesley Family Learning Center right now, they don't care nothing about the black community. And I'm going to show you why. This same individual that was convicted in 1998 of voter fraud here in Charleston, Missouri. You'll find it in the Wall Street Journal where I just told you to Google it up at. This same individual started working for them in 1997. Look at these facts. In 1998, he pled guilty to voter fraud. This particular voter fraud is not like a regular voter fraud nationwide. You know, when it comes to voter fraud, you know, they don't care what your nationality is. You know, they stealing votes. This black individual that worked for Suzanne Wesley Family Learning Center still today, he was coming in the black community. The black community, the west side of Charleston, Missouri, where 99% is black. Giving the people that was on addicted to drugs and alcohol $1 to vote. Or he gave them a choice. If they didn't want the $1 cash, they can get a 40-ounce can of Old English beer. If they didn't want the Old English beer, they can get a bag of candy. If they didn't want a bag of candy, they can get a cigar. This was this black individual that worked for this white organization, ran organization, the Suzanne Wesley Family Learning Center. This is what he was giving the black people in the community. Taking advantage of a person. They supposed to be helping people on drugs. How is that helping people on drugs? But he was convicted. He pled guilty. If you don't believe me, look up the history. Google it up. And he can't vote now. Because of that, he can't vote no more. But let me tell you, Suzanne Family Wesley Learning Center, they since promoted this same guy that was misusing the black community, the black guy. That's how they was doing over in South Africa. They was pitting the blacks against each other. When I say they, I'm talking about racists. And you have racists that runs Charleston, Missouri. And it is not all white people. But let me tell you about this individual. They promoted him to program director for children's. Program director for children's now. In they program. But let me tell you what he just told children's on April the 9th, 2016. Remember, that was back in 1998 they promoted. But let me tell you what he told children's April the 9th, 2016. No more than 100 yards from my house. Some of my neighbors came and told me he was out there telling little children that I rape children. I'm a pedophile and a rapist. You can see it in my YouTube video. I videoed him for 4 minutes and 39 seconds. Not to threaten him, not to alarm him, not to stalk him, not to harass him, but to document it because he done did it before and people told me about it, but I wasn't able to prove it. You see, the city attorney here in Charleston, Missouri said I'm not a credible witness. You know why I'm not a credible witness? Because I'm setting out him, the police department, and the courts and telling how they using blacks in this town. How they locking them up, how they doing like they did in Ferguson. Locking blacks up, making money out of the courthouse. Suzanne Wesley Family Learning Center, they have employees that works for the state's attorney office. So they got it monopolized. But let me tell you, I went and videoed this guy for 4 minutes and 39 seconds. Not at one time did he leave to call the police. And he didn't call the police at all. But I got it documented and made it out of YouTube video. This was on April the 9th. On April the 18th, I was going down to the police station to make a complaint about one of my used-to-be neighbors who worked for this same guy, who works for the Suzanne, his family works for the Suzanne Wesley Family Learning Center, because he was threatening me and he frightened my daughters now. And I made YouTube videos on that. But they locked me up, said I had a warrant from the videoing of this guy on April the 9th of 2016. They said I've got a warrant for arrest, for harassment. Now, look at this. What did I do besides go down there and document a guy that's telling children that's something that's not true? Let me show you how Suzanne Wesley Family Learning Center play a part in this, how the state's attorney play a part of this, and how some of the police departments plays a part of this here. An officer who claimed he been on the force for 15 years. The 15 years ain't been here. I know he came from Sykes, Missouri. Sykes, Missouri got about 35,000 people or more. Or maybe a little less. What would he leave from a big city like that to come to a little small city of 5,947 people? People say he was setting people up over there in Sykes. And they say he was doing the same thing here. He claimed in an affidavit that got the warrant for my arrest. This same officer. I got paperwork to show it. I sent it to the Justice Department and I sent it to CNN and everybody else that's watching this appeal that I had to appeal. This man claimed in the affidavit now, the police officer, the Charleston, Missouri police officer, he claimed in the affidavit that he called this individual down to the police station on the 9th. And this individual decided that he wanted to file charges on me for stalking, harassment, and he was threatened. This what he swore up under oath now. Now, it can only be one truth. Now, when I went to court, this same officer on the stand, look what he said. When he was asked, did you call this individual down to the police station? He said, no. Well, how did he come down there? Did he call you? No. His wife called. He's saying this on oath now. The individual that I was videoing, this police said now he swore up on the oath on the 25th of August of 2016 when I went to trial, if that's what you want to call it. He swore up on the oath that he didn't call this man, but he swore on the oath to get an affidavit on me that he called this man down. But he said the man's wife called. The man's wife didn't like what I was putting in the YouTube video. One of them have to be a lie, and both of them will swore up on the oath. But ain't nothing done to him. Let me tell you about the state's attorney. Anytime, but let's go back to the police. If somebody said they threatened of anybody and you arrest them, you done heard the so-called victim story. You supposed to interrogate the so-called suspect. He never talked to me damn time and asked me why I was doing this. He went over his superior, which is the chief of police, and the chief of police know he did it. He went over the chief of police head. This was on the 9th that he called this guy, allegedly called this guy down to the station. But on the 10th, on a Sunday, he contacted the state's attorney. On Monday or that Tuesday, which was the 10th or the 11th, maybe the 12th, they go to a judge to get a warrant for my arrest. Now, the state's attorney, any witness that you have that's going to testify for you under the motion to produce or the motion for discovery, you're supposed to let it be known if any of your witnesses ever been convicted of a crime. The state's attorney didn't disclose that witness, this program director, had been convicted of 1998 for voter fraud. That violated my rights. The lawyer that I paid, I told him about this here guy being convicted. He didn't even bring it up. He didn't even impeach the police when the police said that the guy's wife called. But what I'm trying to show y'all, they found me guilty of harassment. A class A misdemeanor. Sentenced me to 1 year county jail time, but suspended the sentence and gave me 2 years probation. Supervised, where I got to go for 24 months paying $30 a month. For what? I'm appealing the case right now. Whether I beat it out or not, I just want y'all to see how corrupted they is. What they don't like is I'm a black man. I'm trying to protect my 2 little daughters that they let a white bus driver do to something to my then 5-year-old daughter.